I want to thank you all for having me. Like Matt said, my name is Sheena Whitehead. I have lost my name tag. I have no idea where it is, so that's my name. I am with the American Cancer Society, and I actually see several faces I know in this room. Rhonda, we've been in contact a lot. I know Chris Logan in the back. I used to work with his mother. Hi, Chris. And I see some other people I know, actually. I used to work at Regions Bank years ago. Chris, I know you, when I saw you. I used to work at the Wood River branch back in about 2006. That was right when I got out of college. I had been a teller before that. I started in financial services. I then started working at C&B Bank. If you've ever been there, I know you used to bring me deposits. I was the teller supervisor at C&B Bank for about 7 years in Alton. So if I probably know more of you. I'm just trying to pick out the faces I know. So I was actually raised in Jerseyville. I went to high school there, graduated from there. I lived there for a couple years after high school, and I moved to Alton, I moved back to Jerseyville. Now I live in Edwardsville. So I'm still kind of a local girl. I have a lot of ties to the community. I love the Riverbend area. Just a little bit of background on me, that way you guys, I'm not just coming up here and talking at you, so you know where I've been. I started my career with the American Cancer Society back in 2007. Someone invited me to a Relay for Life event, and I showed up, and I was hooked, and I started volunteering. I did something that night, I don't remember what I was asked to do, but after that, I started volunteering on the committee. I have probably done every committee job that there is. I traveled around, obviously at the Jersey County Relay, that's where I'm from. So I was there for several years, even became the event chair for 3 years. After that I said, I need a break, this is a lot of work, the cause is still near and dear to me, but I need a break. I didn't really take a break. I kind of left the Jersey Relay and came down to Riverbend and became a team captain. I don't know what I was doing. And the event staff partner from the American Cancer Society at the event that year quit a couple weeks after that event. And I thought, you know, I've done this for a long time on that side of the table. Maybe I'll do it on the staff side. So I applied completely out of my comfort zone. When they say take a leap of faith, I had literally worked in a bank my entire working career. I had no idea what I was getting myself into going to the other side. But I have actually worked here for the American Cancer Society since August of 2015. So this is my second full relay season. I staff 4 events, so I do not just have Riverbend. I spend a lot of time here, but I also have the Jersey and Greene County event this year. I have the Clinton County event up in Breeze, and then I have the Monroe County event in Columbia. So I travel a whole lot all over the area. I make kind of a big circle, but I love what I do because, like Matt said, cancer has affected everybody in this room. And I promise I will try not to make you cry, but I usually do, and I don't mean to. It's a very personal disease for everybody, and we all have a reason to do what we do. So, that being said, how many of you have actually been to a Relay for Life event? Just been at all? Okay, not bad. I've had worse shows in. Okay, how many of you have been on a team before and done fundraising? All right, okay. So, are any of you familiar with what the American Cancer Society actually does? Does anybody have, and you two, you don't answer. Anybody else in the room, does anybody have like a thought of like where our money is going?
Research.
Research, okay. Anybody else? And that is why I'm here today, because none of you know where your money is going when you are helping to fundraise for the American Cancer Society. I'm going to keep one of these, not forget anything. Pass them around. I hope I brought it. If I don't, I'll have this one done at the end. So research is the #1 thing that we do. We fund more research than anyone else except for the government. So that is where most of our money goes. If you know someone who has taken a drug that's helped them to live longer, it's probably funded by the American Cancer Society. If you know someone who has taken a treatment that has put them into remission. It was probably funded by the American Cancer Society. I could give you names, but I'm not good with all the science stuff, so I always just say I raise the money to do the science stuff. I actually had the privilege of touring an ACS research lab over at Washington University last week. It was the first time I had been there, and it was super cool. They were actually showing us different things that they were doing to find inhibitors for a gene, and that's where the science goes beyond my knowledge, but they were actually receiving grant money from the American Cancer Society. So that is the number one thing that we do, but we don't just do research. Our other arm that we have is for patient services. So the sheet that I gave you kind of shows what things cost that we offer. So I'll start with the least. So $15 gives a ride to someone. We have a program called Road to Recovery where you call us, we match you with a driver. If you don't have a ride to your treatment, we will get you a ride to and from your treatment, because if you can't get your treatment, you're not going to make it. Treatment is the most important thing. So we have the Road to Recovery program. $20 is helping people get access to information, because we have a 24-hour toll-free phone number that you can call 365 days a year. If you have a question, they will answer it. We have a lot of people call our office and we direct them to that number. And I always tell them, I'm not pushing you off. I don't know the answers. I just raise the money so the people on that phone number can give you the answers that you need. I've had a lot of people tell me they have called it, hey, my dad just got diagnosed with something I've never heard of. They call the 1-800 number, they tell them everything they need to know and more. They're also there to give them answers to any questions that they might have about, maybe you got diagnosed, you don't know what your treatment's going to consist of, and instead of Googling it like we all do and getting completely lost in a rabbit hole, you can call them. They have the information right there at your fingertips. So if you get diagnosed around Christmas, you call them on Christmas Day, someone's going to pick up the phone. You call them at 2 o'clock in the morning when you wake up and you have a panic attack about something, they're going to pick up the phone. So we have that available as well. You guys can stop me if you have questions at any time too. So the next thing we have is we have one-on-one peer support in groups for breast cancer patients. So what we do is match breast cancer survivors with new breast cancer diagnosed patients, so they kind of have a peer to talk to about, about treatment. What am I going to experience? What have you gone through? And it's really important to have that one-on-one support from someone who's been where they're going. The lodging is probably my favorite part. It says $50 can help provide a night of free lodging. We have what we call the American Cancer Society Hope Lodge, and it is right across the river in St. Louis. It's on Lindell Boulevard. Have any of you ever heard of that or been there? Wonderful. Okay. The Hope Lodge gives cancer patients who are receiving treatment a free place to stay while they're there with their caregivers. So you guys know right across in St. Louis, we have Siteman, we have Barnes, we have all the good stuff. We live in a good area. And a lot of people travel to St. Louis for those treatments because the good doctors are here. But just think about how much it would cost if you had to stay in a hotel for 6 weeks. I mean, a treatment is usually 6 to 8 weeks, and if you had to stay in a hotel, I mean, at $150 is a cheap hotel for a night. So the Hope Lodge provides that for free. It is probably my favorite thing that we have. If you ever want to go over there, you can go over there, take a tour. You can go over there and visit with the patients that are there. We actually go over there a lot as a relay committee and serve dinner to them because they don't get provided dinner. They just get the place to stay. So a lot of relay groups, a lot of business organizations go over there and serve dinner to them as a volunteer experience, and it is one of the most rewarding things you can ever or will ever do. And if you guys are interested, I can obviously give you the information for that. Then we do $100 is for what we call the Look Good, Feel Better program. So we actually have those right here in the Riverbend area. We have them at Alton Memorial Hospital, and we have them at OSF St. Anthony's. That program provides women with a makeup kit and teaches them tips and tricks for dealing with the side effects of their treatment. So if they've lost their hair, their eyebrows, their skin has changed, it kind of gives them the tools that they need to make them feel like themselves again. And then $500 is the navigation. So if you call us, we actually have patient navigators. So if you're brand new diagnosed, we can get you with someone to kind of help you through your treatment, and they're personalized to your care. I know that was a lot, and I promise I'm not going to stand here and talk at you, but does anybody have questions about any of that stuff? Did anybody know that we did any of that?
Some of it.
Some of it? The Hope Lodge is probably my favorite part. Just because it's so close to home, and going over there you can actually kind of see where your money is going. So what I do for my job, because I go around in all of my communities and I do the fundraising to pay for these services, because someone's got to make the money to pay for the things that we offer. We are a global grassroots organization. We do not receive money from any type of government program, any sort of funding from any other organization. We are strictly based on donor donations. So we do have, things like galas. We have a big gala ball up in Chicago. There's one in Dallas called the Cattleman's Ball every year. We have some bigger events like that. We do have some things that are set up through people's estates, so we receive money from people's wills and things like that. But the majority of our money comes from Relay for Life events in communities around the world. I think, don't quote me on this, but in the United States there are more Relay for Life events than there are Walmarts, if you guys can believe that, because there's a Walmart everywhere, but there are more Relay for Life events than there are Walmarts, because it means that much to so many people. I thought my time was up. I mean, I can stop.
Does the money stay local, like?
Yes.
Was that a reminder to get the bag?
Yeah, so a lot of people, when they're deciding where they're going to spend their time, with their volunteer time, where they're going to give their money to, the money goes into the big American Cancer Society pot per se. So your $20 is not going to go straight to a program at St. Anthony's. But because we fund all of those programs that are right here in the Riverbend area, your money is staying local because it's helping people locally. So we have the Look Good, Feel Better program at the 2 hospitals here in the area. We also offer free wigs for cancer patients, and that is at the Bliss Salon in Godfrey. So those wigs that they have there, if you know anyone who has lost their hair due to their treatment, they can actually go to the salon. They will get it cut and styled by someone who knows how to do hair. I do not. That's why they do it at a salon. We also offer that program as well. And again, if you have someone who needs a ride through Road to Recovery, we'll find someone for you locally to do that. So it's I always say, like, your money does stay local because it's helping people locally, but I don't want people to think like it's literally going straight back into where you're going. But another caveat of that is the money all gets, piled together, because we don't want people in, say, Jersey County, just because they don't raise as much money, to not be able to have the same services that you guys have here in the Riverbend. So the Riverbend makes, last year we raised over $100,000 for the American Cancer Society. We actually way smashed our goal. Our goal was only like 80 and we made over 100.